Tonkov and the Olympic champion Pascal Richard sucked back in now. I love these days in the mountains. I hope you do back at home as well, watching it wherever you are. And I've had lovely letters from a lady who wrote to me in Prague. I had a nice letter from people down there in the south of Spain, down in Granada. Thanks a lot down, ex-Bradford RC, or still Bradford RC people, Helen, Jeff and David Woods. I'll try and respond on air to your letters sometime during the next few days, but the racing is so intense now. The one thing that I did get from Helen was she said that she didn't think that the cameras actually show the intensity of the climbs, because on that day we went through her neck of the woods, we went up that big climb, and she said that it didn't really, although Jimenez was suffering, it told the full story. It didn't really, the helicopters and so on didn't really give the impression. You see one of our helicopters back and how steep these climbs are. You're perfectly right, Helen. I've been over these climbs, I've driven up them, I don't ride a bike up them, but you're quite right, it doesn't come up on TV just how these climbs, how long they are. Now this long shot back will only give you some idea. If we went a long way back and you saw the way they trail up and up and up and constantly going and climbing, it's like, I don't know, riding into a headwind for like about 15 kilometres. I mean, a real strong headwind, and also going uphill at the same time. It is so steep. I mean, at the moment, it's not too steep right here, but the way they go up and up and up, and the constant effort to ride your bike on these climbs, it's just... I suppose the only way you can do it, if the camera goes up when we're finished, the helicopter looks right back down the road there, you'll just see where we've come from, and you'll get the impression in these 13 kilometres of climbing just how far back it is and how much work they've been doing. You can't understand it in Great Britain if you've never been over to France or to Spain or to Italy to realise just how these climbs, how significant they are. And of course, half the trouble if you're driving a motor car, you're on motorways which are using sculptured roads and so on. But in reality, when you get off the roads like we're here, going up towards ski stations or up to no man's land, because there's nothing beyond this road, when you've got these narrow roads, and when you get to the top and you look back down where you've come from, and in the distance down below these climbs, the houses are like little matchbox. You look at them and you think, hey, they did a little matchbox down there, and we've come up there in our cars, and these lads go for their bikes. On the right, Escartin, in the blue shorts, Dufo. On the left, Zülle. Zülle's psychologically chatting to Dufo now, at least. Mind you, I think Dufo is a French-speaking Swiss rider, and I think that Zülle is a Germanic-speaking rider from Switzerland, so I don't know what language they're speaking at the moment. And of course, they have at least 3 languages in Switzerland. In fact, I think it's 4th, a Roman language as well. That's the Mappe car going through. And finding it long there, Jimenez still on the front. We've got a chance. Oh, he's going to attack him. He's come up suddenly to him. That was a superb move then. Very, very gentle. We've been watching what's been going on behind, and suddenly up in front, Jimenez, who looked like he was set to get the stage victory, has now got a few problems. He's coming back. This could be quite fascinating. We've seen this chap Jerez before in the mountains trying to do something about it. Now he's drifted off again. Jimenez, oh, he must be feeling absolutely miffed at this one. Saying a few Spanish swear words to himself because he's looking for a stage victory today. It looked like he got it. Jerez comes up to him and just romps past like that. Well, they'll know each other. Jerez, by the way, 13th overall in general classification at 6 minutes 41 seconds on this stage 12 of the race. Jimenez is fighting his way back. So Jerez, 13th overall, 6:41 down. Jimenez, even further back on the GC, 48th at 21 minutes and 20 seconds. They're after the stage victory now. What a nice touch from Jimenez. The team car came up, had to say something to them, give information about the gap behind, and Jimenez put his arm round Jerez, who caught him, to allow him to go back and get the information. I thought that's what a lovely gesture. He didn't take advantage of the problems that were faced Jerez, and that's a nice. Do you know, this is one thing about cycle racing, that they race each other into the ground. They ride each other off the wheels up here, but there's a gentlemanly feeling amongst them too as well, because they know what they're doing. They're riding here under these conditions. They're supreme physical athletes, but at the same time they have sympathy for each other. And so back he goes now to say a few words, as Jimenez said, about what's going on. He's come up then because the Benetton car hasn't come up, you see, at all. The Kelme car's come up, given the information now, no doubt who's in this group here, who's behind, what the gap is as well, but I haven't seen the blackboard come up at all. But now these riders, look, they're sharing drinks too as well. Escartin, I think, just passed a drink across to Zaina, who's further down him on general classification. What a nice gesture here. I mean, they're riding one against the other, but they don't want to cheat. They're here, you know, they don't cheat, these bike riders. They're just determined to get the best out of themselves, to win with the best results from their own achievement. As an attack comes on the left-hand side, and suddenly the Italian champion is underway. Farazin starts to go. He watched them switching drinks now. He waited for them to put the bottles back, and bam, off he went. Well, Farazin is not really, as he's searching through his results, a great contender for the overall jersey at the moment. But of course, you see, why they've got to pull him back or try and get him into the pack again is that what the Zülle doesn't want. This is a flattish part. I said he goes down a little bit before he goes up. What Zülle doesn't want is too many riders down the road that Dufo or Escartin can go and jump across from group to group, because the danger thing is now at the front, you see here with 5 kilometres to go, Jerez here is from the Kelme team riding with Jimenez. If Escartin can go across, join up with Farazin, then get towed up to the other two riders up in front, and Zülle loses the wheel, then he could find Escartin dragging time back. So every move Zülle has to watch it. And his heart at the moment must be going because it's wet. Fortunately, they're not going downhill, they're going uphill, but these are not ideal Zülle conditions. But look at the number of green shorts here, eh? Kelme for the team award. They're leading overall right now at, what, 2 minutes 26 seconds on the Festina. Those teams only got one man in this group. .43 seconds back then from leaders Jerez and Jimenez. Still on the chase there, Tonkov and the Olympic champion Pascal Richard. And here is the chasing group containing the yellow jersey. That gap is irrelevant as far as Zülle's concerned. It just shows you with 5 kilometres to go. The gap then 1:12 between Jimenez and Jerez. Wedged in between, we have Pascal Richard and Tonkov, and the main pack just over a minute back. So the white-yellow jersey group now, in fact, 1 or 2 are coming up to it. That just shows that the speed has gone off it just a little bit here, because suddenly popped up from nowhere, we've got Ledenois, who's come across, but still in the lead. Jerez and Jimenez. Between them, Pascal Richard and Tonkov, and then the main group, well, main group, the yellow jersey group, let's call it a yellow jersey group, with 5k to go, back at 1 minute and 1 second. Come on, Dad. Tonkov on the front. Tremendous competitor, the Russian who turned pro a bit late in his career, had 110 victories as an amateur, and now at the moment had the thick end of 20 victories as a pro, most of them really in stage events. Won a stage in like things like the Tour of Romandie this year, took over the jersey for a short time, 8 victories in 1996, including the Tour of Italy and a stage in that as well. So he's there with Pascal Richard, the Olympic champions. That's a nice twosome in the centre, but I'm not sure if they can catch back the 2 specialist climbers, Jerez and Jimenez. his fairly consistent climb now. Oh, he's gone. He's gone. Heras has gone away. Whoa, that's going to be a turn up for the books. And what a shame then for Jimenez and for Benesto, because certainly they were looking for something today, and they're not going to get into this rate of knots. And it might be, in fact, that Jimenez, unless he pulls his socks up, a bit difficult in these conditions, a bit wet and miserable, is likely to be caught by these two, Pascal Richard and Tonkov. And I'm so pleased to see Pascal Richard come back. During the Tour of Spain, he joined our Eurosport commentary team, working with our French side of the operation. So I'm not exactly totally biased there, but one could feel for him having that Olympic success and then suddenly having a season which was disrupted early on the season, then again with that crash kept him out of the Tour de France, and now coming good at the back end. That's one thing about the Tour of Spain, really. There's been so many people critical of the fact it's so late in the season, but it does give people like Pascal Richard a chance to come back with some success. On the left-hand side of your screen, Zainab has had a second place in the Tour of Italy, what was that, last year as such. On the right-hand side is Dufo, second in this Tour of Spain last year. And in the middle, we saw the yellow jersey of Zülle. Last year's victor now still in the lead. And Heras here being encouraged by the assistant team director. That's not Pino, that's the assistant team director of the Calmate team. That's Jose Teixeira, and he's been encouraging him to go. But look at the number of green shorts here. And yes, Doug Sollow's out there in Cheltenham. I know you want a Calmate jersey. I'll do the best I can to get one for you and for me. And no, you're not allowed to patch up and cover over the Eurosport logos on the jerseys. So might we get a victory today? Well, one of my colleagues was saying when I was having my lunch, where's the champagne? And I said, well, at the end of the race. But somehow, if Calmate win the stage today, perhaps Eurosport might buy a bottle of champagne. On his way toward the top then, inside the final 3 kilometres, that's I think the 2 kilometres to go sign ahead is Roberto Heras, who's going now on his way, all being well, to get his stage victory on the 12th stage of the Tour of Spain. Jimenez started it all on the climb to try and get away and take the victory, but he's actually been blown out now as Lenoir starts a lone attack to try and pull back the 2 men in front of him, Pascal Richard and Tonkov. Out the saddle now, romping up here like it's a little sprint down to the shops for, you know, to go and get a bottle of Perrier water or some nice Earl Grey tea or something, whatever he wants for his brew up. He's now gone away from here. He was pro in 1995, Roberto Heras. He's down the road there now, ahead of these 2 riders here, who better get a move on, by the way, because coming up quite quickly, Lenoir is trying to cut back and catch them. In fact, you can hear the team manager in the background shouting in encouragement. Tonkov looking for a victory today to celebrate the birth of his little baby yesterday. Looks like he's not going to get it now. And I think Lenoir's been hauled back in that little group. I can see a Gann jersey there for certain, as the 2 riders first and second on general classification. The yellow jersey of Zülle, and the white jersey of Dufo level pegging, and alongside them, also just behind them, is Escartin, Zainab, Lenoir, Dominguez, Farazin and Clavero of the Estepona team. Nice to see Clavero going up there, by the way, because today in the VIP team cars we've got User Skill, the mayor of Marbella, and of course the chairman of the Athletic Madrid football team, and his son is very much involved in the Estepona development of that great seaside area, and I think encouraged the sponsorship of the cycle racing team. And today, with Jesus Gill in one of the VIP cars there, you can see that one of his son's interests is doing quite well today, staying in that main pack up at the front of the race. We also got today as special guest Hein Verbruggen, the UCI president. We might see him up on the rostrum at the end. I don't know how much time we'll have left at the end of it all, but look at the gap back now. So there's no doubt about it that the victory is going to come from the riders up in front of this group. They're not going to catch the leaders, whatever they might now do for jumping around. This man Heras has got 1 kilometre to go. He turned pro in 1995 as an amateur that year in 95. He was second in the Vuelta España for the amateurs. So he's been second overall in the Spanish amateur version of the Tour of Spain. So he knows how to climb, he knows how to sustain the effort over a long time. And there he is with 1 kilometre to go. Heras on his way through. great to see him if he can get this victory here. I like to see young riders who come through the ranks, who've been allowed a bit of freedom to have a go. Often they get submerged in the tactics as they're the Olympic champion, followed by Tonkov, second of the Giro d'Italia. See how his jersey here, see the rings he's got on his jersey. Pascal Richard said that he's sponsored by Casino, but why isn't there a jersey? I'm an Olympic champion, can't I have an Olympic jersey? What he's done there, of his own badge, he's put those Olympic rings in a place where it normally says Casino. And I think that's right. I think if you're an Olympic champion, there's some way you should be able to show that champion on bicycle racing. 1 kilometre to go then. The Olympic champion now trailing in third spot behind. And whilst we're going up here, look at all the banners on the right-hand side, all the barriers out there. What we don't often realise in big races like this is how much work is done overnight to set up the race and through the early hours of the morning, to put all the signs out, to prepare the barricades and to prepare the banners. We've just gone over that great big inflatable 1 kilometre to go sign as regards our leader. Someone has to go there, set it up, blow it up, stick it in place, and then make sure it's all ready. That's the same thing in the finishing area, when one's got all the places where the radio commentators work, where the television commentators work, and all this lot, these banners the barriers have to be put out on the side of the road. They have to come off flat trucks and they have to be put down. There's heavy work too, humping all this stuff round and making sure the riders get a clear run through. And there you can see the finish right up in the distance there, and Jimenez desperately trying to get back up to the leader, Jerez, who looks like he's on his way to a stage victory today. This lot now not in contention at all for the stage victory today. Jimenez trying to go back and get some more effort out of his tired legs. And look at the green shorts here. 113 on your screen then, that's Dominguez. Just up in front, 119, that's Serrano. And just up there, 111 is Escartin, who's gone. As I say, down the road he went. On y va. Or the French equivalent of that is, sorry, the Spanish equivalent of that is. No, he's just gone to the front to make him, let him know that he's still there. It's going to be a triumphant ride into the finish here for this lad. A tremendous performance then to go up to Jimenez, left the group, and for Jimenez a great disappointment. As the victory is going to the Calma rider, coming across the line now. Jerez taking a comfortable victory. This new pro, this new man on the block, I say second in the Amateur Tour of Spain in 1995. He's now gone past the great man Jimenez, who finished 8th in this year's Tour of Spain. A great success then for this young man. Very pleased indeed with that one. I'm sure there'll be some celebrating in the old camp tonight as far as the Calmo team are preserved. And of course, they're sponsored by Costa Blanca and Eurosport. Yes, perhaps it'll be champagne for all round tonight. I'll have to go and search the piggy bank to see if we can afford that. Zaina's prized himself away. Then we have Escartin, but Jimenez coming in here for a second spot. But where at the moment is Pascal Richard and Tonkov. Here comes Richard just ahead of Tonkov, so that's second, Jimenez. Third. Turn your back, Mr. Official. Oh, some of these people, there's wandering around there as the third place man comes in. Pascal Richard, the man walking around there in the middle of the finishing straight. I just don't understand that. You always keep that area clear because that is where the photo finishes. He's wandering up and down, back towards the race. This is just, I mean, the control at the end sometimes is a bit Charlie Chaplin, a bit sort of, you know, over the top really. We saw it the other day when they came in up to Sierra Nevada when Jimenez was trying to ride for the second or third spot, and the officials were everywhere pointing all bar up to the moon, which by the way went into eclipse, didn't it? So perhaps that's why they're getting so out of control here. As Zülle showing his strength, coming up, the sun is now coming out to shine on the Baxter riders as he comes in then to take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th place as such. I think he's just showing off to the other fellows behind him. He's opened up just a few more seconds on them with that surge towards the line, but this is only the first of 4 consecutive days in the mountains, and though Zülle show that he's still boss in the Amarillo jersey, he must be careful because we've got some thumping gate climbs to come tomorrow, the next day after that. Why that bloke is out there in the blue, I just do not know. I just do not know. Look, perhaps he wants to be on TV. Oh, well, that's our top 8 or 9 riders in. Most of the top men have now come in. When I say top, those on general classification. We've seen Zülle, Dufo, Escartin, and there the rest of the riders coming in behind them. Really have had a tough old day in the saddle. There's Claudio Kippage, I think, just coming in. But our gentleman in the blue shirt is determined to cause trouble for all and sundry. Why doesn't he lie down on the finishing line and get run over? I don't quite know what he's doing there. I've never seen this before. So, well, he sort of organises things out at the top of this mountain. I know they've got to keep going on through because there's nowhere else to go once they get there. They've all got to sort of get in the team cars and wait till they can go back. Yes, keep going, but there's nowhere to go. The road stops just down the road, but I think what he's trying to do is stop people going back down the mountain, which they won't do because the team cars are further down. The team vehicles are further down too. But they'll all get themselves sorted out into the coaches. Take some time for all the riders to come up here before they set off back down to the hotels for the night. But what a great success then for the Kelme rider, sponsored by Kelme, Costa Blanca and Eurosport. For Roberto Harris then second in the amateur Tour of Spain in 1995. He's now come good in the senior ranks. He showed a superb performance today. As did all the Kelme team. They had 4 men in the top 8 places as such. But nevertheless, the overall classification will stay the same, with Zülle still ahead of Dufo, Escartin back in 3rd spot. The top 3 will still be the same. But as far as today is concerned, Kelme are going to be very pleased indeed with a victory then for Jerez. Join me tomorrow, David Duffield. We've got more in the mountains. Could be quite an interesting day. Till then, hasta mañana. This is a spirited attempt. A lot of people jumping around at the moment. No, it's not enough. You see, the speed at which they're going, the attack can only take them maybe about 3 or 4 bike lengths away, maybe 5 or 6 at the most, before you have to sit down, because when you're going at this sort of speed up this sort of climb, and if you can do it twice, that's even better still. He's done it twice. Now that's the way. Now that can work. Beautiful move, because when you get to sit down after accelerate, like he's doing now, your legs, you can't go much faster than the group behind, and then they accelerate and come back at you again. But he's done the old 1-2. That was a beautiful move, 1-2. And that takes him to it. That really hurts, that does. Now, the question is, has he got it just right? So, Uriah of the Estepona Toscaf team looking for a victory here on the stage. Corezzo, his teammate, leading on the climbers classification as at today. Been picking up points further on so far. We've got 5 kilometres to go. This could certainly help his teammate in defending that yellow climbers jersey, because Ledenois is second on the climbers jersey competition at the moment, and Jimenez is starting off yet again. So, as the one rider's gone away, the rest of the bunch don't quite know what to do. Jimenez has caught our little breakaway rider, who very spiritedly started this whole thing going by attacking twice on the trot inside these final 5 kilometres. Jimenez has always been a man threatening to win a stage. Benesto desperately seeking for some success at the moment, but Uriah, the Estepona rider is now, I think, struggling to stay with him. And in the background, the clouds are beginning to mass and the dampness is likely to fall, and it's getting very somber and very dark and very dismal. But the race is going full bore at the moment, and Jimenez, the one who's lighting up the scenery, moving up towards the top of this long, long climb. And up comes, is it Herreras again? We've got another attack then from the Kelme team, and our camera's gone back out of the slot at that particular time. Great disappointment then. Still in there, you can see 173 for the Flavia Telecom team. Contreras riding with this little lot too. He'll move up a bit on general classification by his performance today. Good move as far as he's concerned to stay with the big hitters. He's lying 26th overall this morning on general classification. Just behind this man on his screen, Escartin, this morning third at 2 minutes and 17 seconds. Somehow this, I don't think, is Escartin's type of climb that would give him a chance of pulling back that 2 minutes and 17 seconds. As on the front still, the Once riders with Jalabert in the pink and the Amarillo jersey of Zülle holding fort. Uriah started it all, now can't hold the wheel of Jimenez, and another attack from the Kelme rider has gone away. Is this Herreras yet again, trying to do two on the trot? If so, amazingly, we've had back-to-back wins by people like Marcel Wust when it comes to sprints as such, but to do it twice in the mountains takes a lot of guts, a lot of courage. Oh, you're not allowed to do that. You'll get the poor bloke fined. Ah, these spectators are just nuisance value. That's not fair. Apart from that, the lad here can get dock time and can get fined as well. And Dufo starting to attack Zülle. They're coming thick and fast, left, right and centre. The proverbials hit the fan now. Dufo tries to go away from Zülle. Looks back, see what damage he's done. Well, they've got this climb here, the one up to the finish today. They had one yesterday, and it's going to get worse all the way through, because after this stage, we're going to stage 14 tomorrow to finish at the top of the Alto del Naranco, and then the next day, stage 15, to finish up the Lagos de Covadonga. So we've got some thumping great climbs for these riders still ahead of them. And they've hauled back a spirited rider from the Estepona team, Uriah. Is Escartin going to try and pull out something from the bag today, or is he prepared just to stay and follow the wheels of Zülle and Dufo? And Tonkov has gone too. Well, what, everybody having a go. Tonkov now gone past Jimenez and still down the road. I think we've got a one little leader from Kelme, but they're going all over the place. Our camera's not following that well, so you stick with me and keep your fingers crossed. We'll pick it up, because there Tonkov has gone ahead of Jimenez. Tonkov wants that stage victory for his son Nicola, and he tried yesterday to do what he could to get up there, but failed in the end. He finished in fourth spot yesterday, did Tonkov. A massive crowd now beginning to cheer on this one. You can see why the spectators in Spain love their cycle racing. They've got a Spanish rider here, Jimenez, the national champion, chasing after Tonkov. The enormous crowd here making a tremendous din and encouraging these stalwarts of the road. And Tonkov is romping away, absolutely romping away. Jimenez, you can see, is really pushing too big a gear. He's just got to try and force his legs round. He's desperately searching for more power. Push, 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 but it's not happening, it's not happening, it's not happening. Desperately trying to stay with some momentum to keep away from this little group here, Jimenez. But it looks like it may be to all to no avail, the way that Tonkov has rocked off the front. But I still think up in front we've got one Kelme rider. Forgive me if he's been caught, but I didn't see that. But certainly Tonkov here looks good. Well, on the basis that red car up in front is the lead commissaire's car, I'll settle with that, but the green and blue back there is the Kelme rider that's got sucked back in again. But it's been jumping all over the place at the moment, that coverage, and we can't get much more up-to-date information for you. But Tonkov now forced his way past Jimenez and is way down the road, searching for that stage victory. Murky conditions. The forecast was that it was going to get a bit cloudy at the top of the mountains and a bit colder. They promised some rain at the back end of the race. It's not happened now. There's Zülle in the yellow on the right for Once. In the blue and the white, Jufo in the middle of your screen. The two in green and white and blue are the Kelme riders. Escartin wedged between Jufo and Zülle. You've got the top three in this great Tour of Spain on your screens now. And this man then searching for that stage victory, Pavel Tonkov, second this year in the Tour of Italy, winner of the Tour of Italy in 1995. A man who actually was scalped by Zülle in the Tour of Switzerland some time back when he tried to win it, and Tonkov was beaten, what? Or it had been 2 days, that's right, before the finish. Oh, there you go, Escartin's going to attack now. Escartin gone off with Jufo and Zülle. They've dislodged Zaina. So Escartin and Jufo trying on both sides to put the pressure on Zülle. And where is Jalabert? The snow poles on either side, not needed now. The weather conditions perfect for bike racing. Not too hot, not too cold. Unfortunately, no rain either as far as Zülle's concerned. But Tonkov really has set the pace. Remember when you saw the profile of the course, there were a couple of little bit of flips and then descents as such, just to give it a chance to get their breath back. But right now, that's the one but last little dip. The Bifrest prior to that little descent enabled the chasing group to get back again, so we've got about, 8 riders now coming up after Tonkov, who's launched that lone attempt to get away. And in between them, there is Jimenez, between Tonkov and that little group on the left-hand side of the screen. Again, the Kelme team looking good at the moment. 2 on the front, one of them including Escartin. In the yellow still, the overall race leader, the Amarillo jersey being worn by the Once rider Zülle. He's got with him Jufo, so the first, second and third overall in general classification are there. Can Tonkov hold on? He's inclined sometimes to go a bit over the top and push it a bit too much. You can see the finish right down the road there. Yeah, once he decided to come back again, Ledernoir's caught back up again. Also, they've got the Contreras that got back from Flavia Telecom. So 8 men here, 2 down the road. In total, just 10 of them. There's a big TVM bus. I mentioned earlier on that when they had the rest day, they had to travel the night before. Some of them in the team cars, some of them could go in the very nice buses. And imagine the man who drives that bus. He has to trundle around all over all the big tours, all the big stage race, everything else. Puts in stacks of miles driving that bus. He has to get out early in the morning, come up here, park his vehicle, wait for the race to come through, then collect the team and take them back down to the hotel. Tonkov still looks good. On the left-hand side of the screen, 16 seconds back to Jimenez, 33 seconds behind, and 49 all. This could be enough to give Tonkov the victory, and I wonder if he's going to do a rocking of the arms, like when Neil Stevens came across the finish line in the Tour de France, ready to celebrate the birth of his baby daughter in, March this year, I think it was. And Neil came across the line, a really super moment it was. His wife, Amaya, had given birth to a baby daughter. That was just before the start of the Paris-Nice, actually. Malin was born, and so Neil Stevens came to the finishing line rocking as if he got the baby in his arms. And I wonder if here now, Dad, with 1 kilometre to go, it just goes down a little bit, but after he just flips a little bit upwards too, so it's not all that easy. easy. It looks like he can make it. Tonkov then really concentrating hard on this one now. Jimenez trying to chase him down too. He can see him in the distance, but he might have left it too late. In fact, it was Tonkov who went past him, and he couldn't get onto the wheel at all. And there goes the service vehicle up to look after Tonkov. Keep your fingers crossed that he doesn't have any punctures, any problems like that. And so he tried yesterday, did Tonkov, and the best he could do was take a 4th place after a desperate attempt to win the stage to mark the birth of his baby son. But now we can all say, if he gets this one, there won't be a dry eye in the house. Well, but in the housewife's houses anyway. Hello, more attacking, more work by the, looks like Uriah from the Estepona team, or is it the fella from Flavia Telecom? To wait until we get down a bit closer to them. They all look the same on my screen at the moment. Inside that final kilometre. And Tonkov now, really, it's going to be a ceremonial run in towards the finish to get this stage victory. First time he's got a stage victory in the Tour of Spain. And he's going to ride in now confidently. He won a stage in the Tour of Switzerland back in 1993, just the year after he turned pro. He went on to take another stage in the Tour of Switzerland and also finished second in 1995. But then he went on to be the winner of the Tour of Italy in 1996. And now he's coming in here to take a victory for the first time in the Tour of Spain. Pavel Tonkov, I'm sure, dedicating that one to his new son, Nicola. Well done. Brilliant. I love it. That's great. I bet Mum back at home, sitting in hospital with the old telly going, is really jumping up and down now. Great. Perhaps little Nicola can have an extra helping of whatever he's having tonight. Dear me. Gosh. Now remember when they have his birthday, won't they? Every time they have the candle say, right, this is, you were born, 1 year ago, and by the way, the day after that, also 2 days after that, your dad got a stage victory in the Tour of Spain. So they'd have another candle on the side for that as well. 31 seconds to Jimenez coming in. Then Dufo now trying to come through to pinch 4 seconds, because first is 8 seconds, but 12 seconds, then 8, and then 4. So 4 seconds bonus, and yesterday he lost 4 seconds to Zülle, and now he's going to try and get him back in the bonuses, and he does. So he gets 3rd spot and 4 seconds bonus, just ahead of Ledenoir, Skartin, Dufo, Zaina, and Uriah, and the rest of the pack coming in here, including Laurent Jalabert. So that's Farazin coming in. Jalabert has been very spirited all day. Finally blew at the back end of the race. And then Gasas for the Lotus team coming on behind. And again, you can see we've got 3 of the Kelme boys finishing up in the top 10 place. We had 2 of them finish already. The 3rd one coming in here. I think it's Jerez coming in now. So they're certainly going to be in there for the team victory again. The weather's getting nasty. The dampness is beginning to fall. Precipitation will be with us any moment. But today, a victory for Tonkov. State these riders coming over the line as the precipitation begins to fall. Bordenave coming in here for a Casino. Well, they threatened we'd have rain, and we've got it now. Many of these riders very happy, I think, with the conditions of the weather, except for this dampness. Now it's been quite a good, nice day to go bike riding as Ledenoir works his way back down. But we're having now another look, a slow motion action replay of Dad Pavel Tonkov celebrating the victory and also the birth of his baby son a couple of days ago. Young Nicola won't be old enough to know about this now, but as he gets old, I'm sure Dad will show him the video and say, that's where I was, that's why I couldn't be with you to hold your little hand when you were born, but I've got you a victory in the Tour of Spain. Brilliant. as on his way towards the top of the climb to get his first ever Tour of Spain victory is the man on your screen now for the Benesto team. This is Garcia Acosta, and I'm pretty certain that when he gets through there and takes this victory that the Benesto people are going to heave an enormous sigh of relief, because in reality they haven't got a lot to show for the investment in the team so far. They just haven't been up there getting the victories. Jimenez has been trying very hard. Olano was taking awful pasting and retired the same day that Chris Boardman did, going to Sierra Nevada. Absolutely stuffed he was on the time, but it's allowed people like this man here on your screen now to have a go at getting the stage victory. So Jose Vicente Garcia Acosta. It's a long name, isn't it? Jose Vicente Garcia Acosta. Well, I've got to say it all at once now, because I never get it out of my mouth when we get to the finish, because as soon as we finish, bang across the line, we won't be able to see the main pack come in, actually, I don't think, because the motorcycling is still going full bore. Oh, that's a bit of a joke, isn't it? Full bore Boldor, I think, where they're at now, so we might have to go ripping from the Tour of Spain to the motorcycling, and it may mean that that group you see down there, 12 and odd minutes down, will not be on our screen. I don't quite know what the time scale will be towards the end, but if we do go off air before Zülle et al. Come in, please bear with me and coverage, because one thing Eurosport tries to do is bring you live coverage of cycling, and often, or a live coverage of all events, and often you get this overlap from one event to another, and we may not be able to wait the extra 12 minutes to see what happens to the main group. So we are 1 kilometre to go then. And they know now they've got a Spaniard in the lead. In fact, not only that, comes from not far away from here, because Oviedo up in the north of Spain, and I'm trying to work along and look at the maps to see how far he's likely to be from his home ground. It's not that far, as I'm pretty certain of that. So he's going on here to score a resounding victory, and it couldn't happen in a better place. Right up on the same northern shores. I say he comes from San Sebastian, moved out to Navarra within the same area as Miguel Indurain. Oh, sorry about this, by the way. We seem to have lost it all as we now go for one of our freeze frames, and they're back in. So the timescale could mean that we won't see this lot come in. They're just going through Oviedo now, and then they'll be coming up that climb. So it might mean that we're not going to see the main bunch come in as they go through this town, where it's, this time it's quite moderate climbing, quite a reasonable day today, and somehow, I'm just looking down there to see, it looks like some of the screen appeal going on the front. I can't quite understand what they're getting so excited about now, because that long drive up towards the finish isn't going to suit them at all, and they're only going to be going for 6 spots as such, but and there's no points at stake in any of the sprints. They've all gone now. So we're going through Oviedo, now rebuilt. It was very much bashed about, by the way. The extreme socialists in 1934 were then absolutely beaten to pieces by the General Franco and General Godet. They also had an enormous siege in 1936 and 1937, but you can see now enormously rebuilt since then. But the people who've bashed about today is that little group down there, because there's no way that they are... Oh, gosh. No wonder we're losing pictures then. Sorry about this, because I didn't realise it was that bad as far as we were concerned, because the finish, the cameras look a bit murky than it actually is, but nevertheless it's going to be a bit difficult, I think. So nevertheless, the main pack are certainly not going to catch them now, and they're putting the pressure on. I hope we do stay with us to an extent, just to see what happens. If by any chance we do go off and can't bring in the result past the first rider in the Merck, then watch on a sports centre to see if there's any change on the overall classification. We've got the victor coming through now. It reminds me a bit of Stephen Roche getting that stage victory at La Boule on the Tour of France. Well, that must be 4 years ago now, Stephen, I forget, but he came through the Merck just like that. He'd been out on his own. We didn't know if he was going to hang on. All the lights, the headlights of the cars came through, and through the Merck came Stephen Roche. So the Merck now comes Garcia Costa to take the stage victory. That's his first one. I say last year he won stage in the Nevada Tour and won it overall, but he's now got one of the biggest successes of his career riding in, and Banesto will be very pleased with that one. You can almost hear the sigh of relief from the bank, which is one of the biggest banks in Spain. They put all that money into a bike racing team and they hadn't got much to show for it. So there he is. This is the Sprott. You've ridden a bike for like 160 odd kilometres. Try and work it out. They went after it's the fight of the microphones. Talk about excitement. If you just all quieten down, lads, you know, and take it easy and do it in a controlled way, you'll still all get the stories. Let the bloke get his breath back. So who's going to get the stage second spot? And it's going to be Piccoli, who won the stage the day, not yesterday, but the day before. Piccoli riding in to second spot. That's another good little performance from him. And to my mind, it might be Nelson coming through. No, it isn't. Oh, it's Thibaut from the Cofidis team coming in here now. Another long-standing pro. Rode last year with the Motorola squad. Took fourth place, won the stage in the Tour de France. It's Piccoli, twice mountain climber, king of the mountain in the Tour of Italy. Comes across the line now, 121 down. Thibaut should be coming in later on. Always been a man who's been picking up places in the top 10 places. Not got himself an out-and-out victory for some time now. He did win the Tour of Bern in 1992, but I think he's searching still for that elusive top victory for him, and he's now crossed the line in third spot. So the rider just coming in then, Gastia from the Cantina Toller squad. So I've got my good mate Luigi out in Northern Italy, used to buy all his stock from for his shop. Sorry, so his restaurant in Western London. Will be pleased with that, because I think he used to work with Cantina Toller in those days. So the Slovenian rider Ivista has taken the third spot now. Looking back down here, well, the group has split quite a bit, and the Jalabert's there with the Once, and you can see at least three of the Festina riders. Escartin is still there, so they've accelerated quite a bit, and that's going to cause trouble as in comes Nelson. That acceleration towards the back end was quite significant, and a bit disappointed with that, I think, will be Nelson, but he's certainly on his way back to fitness. There, the yellow jerseys of the Once squad, and guess who it is? Yes, the man of the match every day, Lineta Borussia. He with the longest name and probably almost the longest legs in the race for the Once team is on the front yet again, you say, and you're entirely right. That man, honestly, he really is a workhorse for the Once team. And I was saying earlier on how we've just seen that win just down the road there for Gilsey. Garcia Acosta, and really he's been a domestique for so long for some of the top men like Indurain. This is what someone like Zinedine Zidane had to do all the time, and they ride themselves into a frazzle and don't get the victories, and sometimes when your top team riders aren't there, you get that opportunity. So he's sacrificing himself yet again. Jalabert behind him in the red jersey, leading on the points competition at the moment, and Zülle in the yellow, just nearest the camera of those three men at the front. Then in the green and white, that's Escartin just bouncing out the saddle. The blue and white colours, I can see Jufos there at the moment, together with Neil Stevens there for Festina. Quite a number of Festina riders still in contention. Right at the top of your screen, that's Claudio Capucci, still with them as well. So the pace at the moment has been fairly consistent but not vicious. And I think they're going to ride themselves through into this one. Maybe just looking for the odd few seconds if they can split it up towards the back end, but tomorrow could be the day when they really have to throw down the gauntlet. If anybody's going to give Zülle a rough time, it has to be tomorrow. Jalabert riding off the front here now, looking very comfortable, towing Zülle with him. And see Lineta Borussia now pulling over on the left-hand side. He's done his work, he's been there all day today, just keeping an eye on things, and now he does drift off the back and ride in his own pace, be ready to try and do the same thing again for his team leader tomorrow. Jalabert, disappointing, I think, with his performance in the Tour so far. If you've been on holiday and missed what we did early on in the Tour, on the stage into Granada, Jalabert won that stage. He romped up the only big climb of the day and just motored on from the 40 kilometres to the top, going with Zülle and Jufo and Escartin, and those four set the scene for the race. But Jalabert, of those four, had a disastrous day the next day when he went up to finish at the Sierra Nevada. He lost 8 minutes and 23 seconds in just 5 kilometres. He blew absolutely his brain, his legs went, and that was it. So Jalabert now is doing a great team job here in the red jersey. He is the world's #1. He scores so many points throughout the season. And one wonders really if Jalabert said, I'll ride for this race and that race and just try and contain my exuberance, whether he might have even more success. I mean, he has been successful. He has won this race. He has taken the green jersey in the Tour de France. But he bit like Sean Kelly, rides so many things. There on the front, you see Tony Rominger covering that collarbone broken in the Tour de France. There, Claudio Chiappucci desperately searching for some form which will give him a good ride in the Tour of Spain to give him a contract for next year. And if I was a team manager with a few bob to spare, and I was looking for somebody who could pass on a lot of experience to other riders, I'd have to consider Claudio Chiappucci, if only they could afford him, I suppose, because he'd been right expensive. That's why he's been dropped from his team now, because they've recruited 1 or 3 other riders in his place. A long spread out line here. Again, the Kelme riders in the green shorts, Kelme Costa Blanca Eurosport team, are riding in here very strongly. They will still keep themselves up in the team award overall, I think, because they are leading on the overall team standing by 13 minutes and 24 seconds from the Once team. The Once team, sorry, Lotus team, the Once team are back in 3rd. Just shows the strength of the boys with the green pants here at the moment. The Kelme team won the team award yesterday. They beat the Mape squad, who had Tonkov win the stage. Estepona Toscap taking 3rd spot yesterday. On the King of the Mountains, coming to today's stage, Cerezo was the leader with 69 points. Laurent Dufaux had 60 points in 2nd spot. I'll have to just check down here to see if Cerezo's made it in this group, because there's Dufaux in the blue and white. He's lying 2nd on the King of the Mountains competition at the moment. And the Estepona rider, we're desperately keen to stay in here because we've seen the top 5 riders go through. So no, the man who wins this group here will only collect 10 points for his position on the King of the Mountains competition. So if he gets 10, yeah, Dufaux could get 70 points, and if Cerezo is not with this group, then he could lose that King of the Mountains jersey. But somehow I'm not sure if that will happen, as whether Dufaux can climb away from this group and get that 10th spot and snap on the King of the Mountains jersey. He'll know what he has to do. Oh, sorry about this. There is a whitish coloured jersey there, so perhaps Cerezo is still in with a shout, because the points go down from to 12th spot overall. 1 kilometre to go. So there's a lot of battles going on. The jersey's still very much at stake for the King of the Mountains competition on this stage, with just those 9 points separating Cerezo from Dufaux and Jimenez. I'll have a quick look now at what happened on the earlier climbs before that 5-man group went away. And the attack's coming in again. Kelme are going to do what they can to reinforce their position as the best on the team award at the moment, and they're being very quickly marked out by the underdogs of the race. The Flavio Telecom rider nearly slammed into the back of the Telecom. Oh, Dufaux's been distanced at this one. Oh dear, he's losing a bit of time here, and Zülle's looking back to see what damage is done, and Zülle's going to push on here. Escartin is still in there, and one of the Spanish, I think that's Serrano of the Spanish team, the Kelme team, just behind Dufaux. Dufaux's now about to try and put some gap between him and Dufaux. Zülle now seeing Dufaux in trouble. Serrano hangs on, behind him Zaino, and then behind him one of the riders from the Flavio team, and I think that's might be Contreras, and Zülle now is riding away up the front. He's going to put more seconds between him and Dufaux. This is a powerful performance by Zülle. He's always done so well on this climb in the past, and he's not going to be up there in the top 3. He could take the 6th spot, though. He was 5th here last year. He was 3rd in 95, 3rd in 94, 3rd in 93. He knows this climb like the back of his hand. It's one that seems to suit him, and now he's left that group of riders behind him and riding up there on his own. What a supreme show of strength by Zülle. In fact, no, it's the Estepona rider. I think it's Cerezo that's coming through. No, it isn't. It's his team leader. My mistake, I'm jumping backwards and forwards here. That, in fact, is the rider from the Estepona team, Clavero, who's still hanging on here. Number 81. And what damage has Zülle done? He really has sorted things out, storming in here. He's got to punch a big hole between himself and Jufo. Through the murk, steaming up his glasses. This is not easy territory for Zülle, but there he crosses the line now. And he started this morning 32 seconds up on Jufo. And he's not come across the line yet. That's the one I'm looking for, to see what ground he's lost. That's it, he's lost 21 seconds. So 21 seconds of difference, and certainly Zülle's performance, he took a few more seconds out of Escartin, but Escartin start this morning 2 minutes 17 seconds down. So in reality, I think what Zülle was determined to do was to make life difficult then for Jufo and pump some more time between him, and that's what he's just done on this climb. They left it very late to go, and you can see they were hauling back leaders, but they didn't do enough to actually disturb the overall victor today, who romped in there, Jose Garcia Acosta of the Banesto team, who's taken the stage victory in tremendous style. The rest of what was a big pack at the bottom of this short, sharp climb now drifting in. There's that man in the centre who's determined to get himself on television or run over, as the case may be. The fellow in the blue jacket on the right, as through the murk, comes out stage victor today. Jose Vicente Garcia Acosta of the Banesto team scores their success they've been looking for since this race started.